Well, I think first of all, the fact that the younger generation are struggling with money is probably no surprise, but I think it's important we recognise it because they've been suffering from low wages and flat wages for a long time, as well as very high unemployment. I think, secondly, the most important thing that came out of the report was that although they're suffering from austerity, they're still somehow finding ways to save, and I think that's very interesting. But pensions remains a dirty word amongst young investors. It's very unengaging, very unattractive. But what they're telling us from this report is that they want to save for a goal. They're interested in their goals and their aspirations. So they're telling the industry, we want you to help us achieve our goals. And if you put that at the front of any investing or saving, then they can see the sort of reward they get for doing it. And I think that's very, very important. And this is critical in how we, in the financial services industry, engage with the younger generation. They're also quite savvy spenders, so they're using technology to find bargains, so they're shopping at eBay and they're being more savvy in their spending and shopping at places like Aldi as well. So they're being quite savvy spenders as well as finding opportunity to save even in a difficult time and environment for them. One of the things I think I perhaps disagree with in the report is the gap between women and men, particularly in the younger generation, where they sort of highlight the earnings gap, because actually up until about the age of 35, women tend to earn more than men on average, and then the gender gap comes in after that age. And I think one of the things I most agree with is the changing attitude of spenders and in the younger generation, because they struggle with money, but they try not to save, and I think that's a very good cultural shift that we've started to see as well. For me, the thing I would change about the industry and how it engages with the younger generation is to remove the complexity and jargon. We make it far too difficult for people to understand what we're doing. We make it seem very complex and sophisticated, which it can be, but we then try and communicate that and express that to the client. They're not interested. They want simple, easy to understand solutions. They have very high unemployment compared to the rest of the age groups, and salaries have been low since the financial crisis and not really been rising. So opportunities are fewer and harder to come by. They have to work a lot harder to get those opportunities. So perhaps compared to my generation, where things were a little bit easier, I think things are more challenging for this generation. The one tip I would give to younger people is save little and often. If you do that and you get into the habit of doing that and saving, it will make a big difference. The amount you save earlier on is huge and has a huge impact on your overall savings going down the line. And by doing little and often, you get into a very good habit, very good sort of feeling of saving. And also it will achieve your goals in later life. And that's what you really want to be saving for, your aspirations and goals.